Good afternoon and welcome to this hybrid meeting of the Education, Skills and Wellbeing Scrutiny Committee on the 23rd of November 2023. I am Councillor Dan Thomas and I will be chairing this meeting. Just to make everyone aware, this meeting will be recorded. Please can you ensure that your phones are switched to silent for the duration of the meeting and that your microphones are muted when not speaking. If members wish to speak or ask a question, please could you raise your electronic hands or physical hands if you're in the council chamber. Also, for those in the chamber, please use your microphones when speaking. For the purpose of the next agenda item, which is declarations of interest, I can confirm we have chosen to scrutinise Cabinet Board agenda items 10 and 13. Moving on to agenda item 2, are there any declarations of interest from members today based on the items we have chosen to scrutinise? If yes, Pamela will forward an electronic version of the forms for you to complete and email back to her. Councillor Rogers?
Thank you, Chair. I've got to declare interest on item 10. I'm about to ask a question, and I have 2 grandchildren who attend Abbey Primary School. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rogers. I'll get the form sent out to you.
Agenda item 3, minutes of previous meeting. You will see the minutes attached at pages 3 to 10 of your agenda pack. If you feel these minutes are an accurate record of the meetings, please can I have a proposer and seconder? If members do not indicate to the contrary, then I will take these minutes as approved.
Happy to propose, Chair.
Wait a second, Chair.
Chair, I can confirm those minutes are approved.
Thank you. Agenda item 4, pre-decision scrutiny. We will now move to the Cabinet Board agenda for pre-decision scrutiny. The Scrutiny Committee members have decided to scrutinise agenda items 10 and 13 of the Cabinet Board agenda. Agenda item 10 is the WESP report. Do members have any questions? Councillor Rogers?
Hello, yes, as I brought up in pre-scrutiny, just a little query over the dispensation given to Welsh medium childcare settings. Last year, we agreed to pass that if they were using school or council buildings, that they would go in rent-free. That was supposed to be provisionally for a year. I'm wondering, is that still continuing? Are they still operating rent-free within the council buildings, please? Thank you.
Yeah, just to clarify, I'm not sure whether we'd answer that. Sarah is our early years coordinator. If you want to, Sarah, give the detail there.
Yeah, just to say we'll be bringing a report to members in the new year regarding that. We're currently evaluating the impact of it, and we have to say it's been very, very beneficial for the WESP, but we want to do a full impact and make sure it's equitable.
Thank you.
Councillor Mason?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, it's on the WESP as well. It's I'd be on page 182. Notice it says there that there's a fall in the number of children that are taking Welsh as a main language subjects in post 16. I was wondering because they said some go to St George's and some go to college. I know now in Brodeer we've got 11 to 15, 16. The previous director, Aled, told me before he left, when I asked him a question, to envisage that perhaps Brodeer would host post-16 education in the future. And he said, well, it would make sense, in the future if that happened. So I know some children now who spent the last 5 years in Brodeer and now go up to Silvera grudgingly to have do their A levels. I just wondering, has any consideration ever been given to having post-16 education in the South East campus?
Thank you, Councillor Mason. Yeah, I'm always doing this. The simple answer is yes, consideration has been given. And at some point in the future, it's possible that there will be a provision on Brodeer, but at this moment in time, it's not the right time in terms of either in extending Brodeer to put an A-level or a post-16 provision on there in terms of the capital build. But also we speak to the school often, we speak to Ystlifera often. They're working really hard with the pupils in Brodeer to enable them to transition up to Ystlifera, where they've got a real wide range of post-16 opportunities there, vocational and GCSE, more academic. So at this point in time, it's still on the cards, but I can't give you a date, or I can't give you any definite information on it. It's just something that we're aware of will be coming some point in the future.
Okay, that's okay.
Is that
Thank you,
okay?
Leanne. Really.
Councillor Peter Rees.
I didn't know that this question was going to come up, but I've got a granddaughter in Brodeer who would be affected by this proposal. Have I got to declare an interest on that?
Chair, but if I can perhaps jump in there, Ian Guy from Legal Services. It's an individual decision for the councillor, as you know very well. The test to be applied is whether a member of the public, looking at all the circumstances, would feel that it might influence you. And if it helps, specifically in the code, there is mention of family members. Perhaps the safest thing would be to declare so that everybody knows, which in effect you've just done, Councillor.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you for the advice, Ian. I'll send the declaration form out to Councillor Rees.
Are there any more questions from members? This report is for information, therefore we note the report. Moving on to agenda item 13. This report is for monitoring. Do officers have anything to add to the report?
Nothing to add, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Do members have any questions for officers? I've got a couple of questions myself on this. The first one is in relation to page 263, general environmental health in terms of water supplies. What's being done to manage any risks until the new laboratory has taken over the contract? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'm happy to report actually that the issue with the laboratory now has now been actually resolved. We have had a small hiatus where we've been left with the inability to send samples to the laboratory for testing, but that issue is now resolved. So I think there are 6 or 7 private water supplies across Neath and Talbot that require regular risk assessments on an annual basis. So it's not a significantly widespread issue across the county borough, albeit obviously ideally we would prefer to not have had this particular issue. We do anticipate that by the end of Q3 and into Q4 that we will nevertheless deliver the target ultimately at the end of the reporting year. So over the course of the year we would have met the target, but it has unfortunately had a bit of an impact in the early part of the year. But as I said, samples are now being taken and are being supplied to the laboratory, which are now currently processing the data and information that's been given to them. I hope that answers your question, Chair.
Yes, thanks for that. Another question on page 264.5. What are the reasons behind not hitting the Q2 target of 55%, first of all? And the report mentions loss of staff as being, adversely affected by this indicator. Is that staff member likely to be replaced, and has a job advert gone out? Thanks very much.
Yeah, if I perhaps take the staff issue initially, we have been fortunate enough to replace the member of staff that we did lose to Natural Resources Wales. So whilst that new staff member is only relatively recently taken up post, obviously they'll need a little bit of time to bed into the team. But again, it's good that I'm able to report that we have been able to replace that lost member of staff. This particular KPI relates to sort of the food and feed standard work that are undertaken by the trading standards team. The animal health officers, they're the ones that have responsibility for inspecting sort of the feed hygiene systems that are in place on farms, and the trading standards officers, they're the ones that sort of inspect sort of feed manufacturers and retailers. The narrative supplied as part of the report does make reference to a food risk assessment pilot I think that, and this pilot has been progressed by the Food Standard Agency, and it's with ultimately the aim of this new scheme to be rolled out across Wales. I think there's a recognition that by the FSA that the capacity and resources within local authorities across Wales, not just Neath but Talbot, are quite limited, and there needs to be perhaps a new scheme put in place to have a more targeted approach to these high-risk businesses. So rather than inspect for inspection's sake, it is much more targeted and much more of an efficient and effective use of resources. Now, whilst we do anticipate that we will continue on an upward trend in terms of our delivery against the targets over the course of the remainder of this reporting year, ultimately we do see a negative impact on our performance in the short term because of our members of staff that would be involved in this particular pilot. But I think it'll be a bit of short-term pain for a bit of long-term gain, if I'm honest, because I think once this pilot system has been embedded in place, I think there's going to be longer-term efficiencies of service that all local authorities of Wales, I think, will benefit from. So, you know, we as officers see this as a very, very good opportunity for us to be involved in this pilot, so that we can have some influence in terms of how ultimately it's set out and rolled out in the future. But I think having done that, you know, we have to accept that it might have a bit of an impact in terms of our performance in the short term. Again, Chair, I hope that answers your query, but I'm happy to take any further questions.
Oh, that's great, thank you. Do members have any further questions? No, okay. This report is for noting. The pre-decision of public items is complete. We will now move back to the scrutiny agenda. Agenda item 5, committee action log, pages 11 to 12. This will be a standing agenda item going forward. This item is for noting unless members have any questions. Agenda item 6, forward work programme. This item is just for noting unless members have any comments. Agenda item 7, urgent items. I have none. Therefore, that closes today's meeting. Thanks, members, for attending.
Thanks, Chair.
Cheers. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.